you distress, that's the way that I get things done. From now to depression, then I sleep too long, and I hang around like a bomb. I think I'm going nowhere, and that makes me nervous. Everybody's at the game, but I feel alright. Everybody's at the game, but I feel alright. Everybody's at the game, but I feel alright. Everybody's thinking about me, but I feel alright. Everybody's at the game, but I feel alright. Everybody's at the game, but I feel alright. Everybody's thinking about me, but I feel alright. Everybody's at the game, but I feel alright. Everybody's at the game, but I feel alright.
I knew about that song before Jim Sterling used it, so I get to use it if I want to, motherfuckers. Fuck. So I went to bed at like 2 a.m. yesterday, and I woke up at like 7 o'clock because my phone kept ringing because the site was down again. I'm like, okay, let me fix it. Let me fix it because I'm not working, I'm dying. That's how it goes, right? So too early. Well, that's too bad because I am a sleepy boy, and I'm going to be going to bed soon, I think. Probably for a nap. I mean, even if I stay awake till like 10 just to keep a sleep cycle going, I would be in a state of delirium, and it would not be any fun to listen to me, unless you're some kind of weirdo. I see people have found that my super chat button works again. I don't know why. I guess that's the positive for this weekend. I woke up and let me pull up the mail. I forgot about this. I applied for the YouTube Partner Program like a month after I made this channel because I had 1,000 subs almost immediately. So I put in, and after like 3 months, they sent me a letter saying, like, we can't make a determination on your channel, maybe later. And I'm like, okay, that's a no. they're never gonna, they're never, ever going to fucking send that through. And then on August 4th, I get this email saying, congratulations, your YouTube channel, Mad at the Internet, has been accepted into the YouTube Partner Program and is now able to monetize on YouTube. I'm like, oh, okay, that's pretty cool. So now I'm wondering what I should do for this. There's many things I'm wondering about that I'm not going to be able to make a fast determination on anytime soon. If I was an organized person who wasn't about to collapse, I probably would have a nice list of things that have been on my mind the last week. But because I am a disorganized person who is about to collapse, I do not have such a list. And I couldn't even get like a ghostwriter to help me this time, because how do you pay someone to give you your own thoughts unless you're like Hillary Clinton and just full of shit and able to hire lackeys to pretend to be you and say poignant things. So, but I'm not Hillary Clinton as far as I know. I mean, maybe I'm like a lizard person who shared a skin suit with Hillary Clinton at some point, but I don't think that's the case. What the fuck was I talking about? Oh, I was talking about YouTube. I was going to ask what I should do. I probably shouldn't run ads, because my YouTube channel, the last one, which doesn't exist, this is my first YouTube channel. But hypothetically speaking, I've heard of YouTube channels that have had monetization programs, and they only got deleted when they ran advertisements on older videos. So I'm thinking I'll play it safe, unlike those other channels not related to me. Then just, keep deleting videos, maybe run ads on my game streams. But even then, it's like, why run ads on videos that don't get views? And why make people who want to listen to some video game stuff for white noise have to hear fucking advertisements and shit? I'll just take what I get from the super berries and not get greedy. Don't ever expect more than that. So that's my plan for that. As you can see, my super chat policy in the descriptions. I'm not going to dedicate a segment. Like I tuned into Nick's stuff last night, and he dedicates so much time just to reading the messages he gets. And I mean, to an extent, it's engaging because the guest is usually there and can answer questions and stuff. But when it's just me, or when it's just like Jim or something, it's like nobody wants to hear that shit. So thank you all people who are giving me. Oh look, Joshua Joshua Moon gave me 100 rubles, which I think is $2, maybe a little bit more. Buy some vodka to celebrate. Well, thank you, Joshua Moon, for your precious rubles. Okay, so I talked about that. What else do I got? There's many things to be talked about today. I checked out that poll I posted last week about if I should do a podcast thing where I just strip the audio out of my video stuff and add it to like a proper iTunes podcast thing. Overwhelmingly, people said they would want that, which is shocking. I thought it would be at best, like a high percentage of people worth catering to. But no, the majority of people who at least voted on that poll would listen to a podcast format. So it's like, okay, I guess I should start being more conscious of audio efforts, and if I see something that's video only, describe it better, like I tried to do in the past. But yeah, just I'll set that up when I get a chance. I have to sleep before I worry about that. Call your mom on stream? I think not. I've never seen the Who Are These podcast. It's a very bad name. It's awful branding. Who are these? I don't know what you would call that in like terms of language. Like, you have indefinite articles. I don't know what you would ascribe to the words "who are these," but none of them are nouns, I guess. Is these a pronoun? Is who a pronoun? Because whatever it is, none of them are like actual words. It's like if you went to Google right now and typed in the words "who are these," I'm pretty sure Google, like the algorithm, will just strip those words out of the query because it's like it doesn't care. Those are like non-determinate words that it would not consider as much as like an actual noun or something. So yeah, that's stupid. That's a really stupid name. I don't know anything about the actual podcast, but just from the name, it's a terrible name. David Stay. I've seen one of his shows. Okay, so the DDoS. Let me explain a little bit of technical stuff while it's fresh in my head. Yesterday, 2 days ago, I opened up, or when the 8chan thing happened, specifically after the 8chan thing happened, like I really got to stop getting used to Cloudflare. Cloudflare is obviously a privilege at this point and not a right as it used to be. Like, you have to understand, Cloudflare does not remove websites from its service. There are multiple terrorist organizations that use Cloudflare. There's like teen modeling, nudism websites behind Cloudflare, and they give all that shit a pass. They always have. But specifically, there is something about 8chan and the Daily Stormer. Those are the only domains that have been removed from Cloudflare for political reasons. And you really got to wonder about what the connection is between them. Because as far as I can tell, it seems to be... Because the Daily Stormer was not removed for anti-Semitism, allegedly. The Daily Stormer was removed from Cloudflare because, according to Matthew Prince, the guy who is the co-founder of Cloudflare and the current CEO, he said that they said that Cloudflare endorsed them, which Andrew Anglin and Weave both deny. Neither of those people exist, by the way. But those people who don't exist deny that. And they say that specifically Anglin doxing a member of the press or something like that, was implied a threat to violence, and that was what prompted Matthew Prince to remove the Daily Stormer from Cloudflare. But what did 8chan do? 8chan, as far as, if you consider it from a neutral point of view, if someone posts something like child pornography to a website and it gets in trouble, that is a form of attack. That's like an attack vector. That is something that you would consider, that website would be a victim of an attack in an objective sense of what's actually happened. So 8chan was the victim of a perpetrator, a criminal, using their service to advertise a crime, which has caused them trouble. Like, that is, they are victimized in this process. But that, because they're the second or third time this has happened, Cloudflare made the determination that they are a hate site, which is prompting real-world violence, despite not it being the intention of the actual administration. Which is scary, because it basically means any site could be removed from Cloudflare now. Because it's not just somebody has to post something violent to your site. It is anything that can be interpreted as a call to violence, even by other users, is justification for removing something from Cloudflare. And as soon as that happened, and as I made alternate domains, I registered with Epic, the owner of BitMitigate, who's worked with the Daily Stormer and briefly worked with 8chan. I registered those domains through them and set up a non-Cloudflare service on my IP space that I bought last year. And it suddenly occurred to someone that my IP space is public. And very quickly, I was blackmailed by someone into doing a site-related service. Now, multiple people, it's kind of like when ISIS does something, and like Al-Qaeda and 3 different terrorist organizations all take credit for it. Multiple people have tried to take credit for the DDoS. And I don't care who does it. I'm not going to give anybody anything. But as soon as I did that, this attack came in, and I've been dealing with trying to mitigate it for probably 20 hours of the last 2 days combined. And now it's mitigated. But it's mitigated because my upstream uses a service called, is it like Vexily or something? It's like Vexily. And while Cloudflare will sit between a single IP and a single web service and the public internet, Vexily is the same for entire data centers. So you put your subnet behind Vexily, and the public internet will connect through them. Their service will scrub packets going to your data center, and then your data center handles smaller attacks, application-level attacks, and so on. So the issue with that, while that sounds great, is Vexily was working with BitMitigate, and when BitMitigate took on 8chan, Vexily dropped them. And Vexily said, like, on Twitter, they made some real fucking sorry comments. Somebody said, like, Vexily, stop supporting hate. And then the official Vexily Twitter account replied something like, we did. Check out our public statement about how we stopped hate speech by dropping people. So here we have an internet infrastructure which is very aged and which is very susceptible to denial of service attack. It's so cheap. It's $80 to get a 20 gigabit per second connection, and it's thousands of dollars to have a 20 gigabit per second line. And even if you have top of the line filtering, even if you've got your firewalls all set up straight, your service is a tough nut to crack. If you have a 10 gigabit per second line and your attacker is utilizing a 20 gigabit per second attack, your service is shut down. Your pipes are too small, and it doesn't matter what happens once the packets get to your router, it's already clogged up the pipe. And there is no way a legitimate user of your service can connect to your thing. So the entire internet is extraordinarily vulnerable to this vector of attack. And the people holding the keys for mitigating such an attack in a cost-effective way are Vexily and Cloudflare. And in 1 day or 2 days, Vexily and Cloudflare both dropped 8chan in unison. And right now, if 8chan were to just use the IP space and the routers and infrastructure that Jim owns in his own data center in California right now, if Jim were to just do that and put 8chan directly to the public internet in his data center, it would be DDoS to shit instantly, because Jim's router is only like 20 gigabits per second. So even, it would cost a couple $100 per month to run a 1 terabyte or 100 gigabyte per second DDoS attack. It would still be sufficient to bring down not only 8chan, but 2chan. And if 2chan is down, that's Jim's money. So I guarantee you what's going to happen in the near future is that 8chan will use, exactly as I've described, use Jim's infrastructure. And then as soon as that happens, it will be brought down by vigilantes, and it will affect 2channel, and it will hurt Jim's financials seriously, very seriously. And if that happens, it could be the end of sorry, I should stop calling it 2chan. It's now 5chan. But Hiroyuki still runs his competitor to Jim's 2chan, what he considers the legitimate inheritor of 2chan since they parted ways. Those people could get fed up with the downtime and move to Hiroyuki's 2chan, and all that money could be gone, and that would basically be the end of 8chan. No one else could ever afford to support it. So the people who hold the keys to the public internet are conspiring, I think it's safe to say. They're conspiring together to shut down U.S. legal U.S. businesses. And if you go to Twitter and you type in Kiwi Farms, into the search bar, you'll find all these people openly calling and supporting for DDoSing the Kiwi Farms, saying, I'll pay it. I'll send you money. I'll send you $20. Make a Patreon, make a GoFundMe for these DDoS attacks. And it's like, in a reasonable, unbiased world, that's advocating for a crime. If I said, somebody go jack that guy's car, I'll pay you to jack that guy's car. I'll go make a GoFundMe to pay for you jacking that guy's car. That would be interpreted as advocating for a crime or sponsoring a crime. But when it's against a reasonable target, then it's okay. And literally advocating for criminal action, which supposedly is the impetus behind removing 8chan and the Daily Stormer from the internet, it just doesn't apply when it's towards the right people. And I guess it gets tired to say, "Oh, look at the hypocrisy," because everybody can do that. It's so easy now. You can arbitrarily point at any two things in the world right now and say, "Look at the hypocrisy," and you'll probably be right. So it's just something I've noticed. It's yet another coinky-dink that we see so much of now. And I've not been looking at chat. Sorry, I've been drifting off into the void between my two monitors and not listening or looking at my beautiful chat. And I hope you guys can't hear me breathing into my mic. I've been trying I don't have a pop filter because it puts me too far away from my mic, but I do have a squishy thing. I can do like my ASMR. But I don't know if that actually acts as a pop filter. We're so fucked. That's what it feels like. I've heard multiple people in the last few days say the public internet really feels like it's fucked. And what do you do? What do you do? Because the next step for Jim Watkins, for instance, he has a data center. He cannot be removed from that data center because he owns part of it. He owns the hardware. He has an employee there. He has routers there. Theoretically, he could buy his own DDoS scrubber. If he upgraded to a 100 megabit per second line, if he got a DDoS scrubber, he could theoretically, it would be extremely expensive, prohibitively expensive for someone like me without like funding from someone like John McAfee, but it would be possible to do that. And then what? Okay, so now he's replicated Vexily on his own premises. He has his DDoS filter. He has his bandwidth. What do you do then? Well, theoretically, someone could. The way that the internet works is it's like, the World Wide Web. There is a web of routers. Router 1 connects to router 2, connects to router 3. If you open up your command prompt and type in trace RT and then an IP like 8.8.8.8, and press enter, your trace route will show you every node, every connecting point between you, your computer, and that Google DNS server, which is 8.8.8.8. And if you those nodes are the upstream from Google, and they usually are companies like Hurricane Electric or Cogent or Layer 3 or Level 3, whatever the fuck it's called. And you know, those companies are called the backbones, the tier 1 providers. Well, again, like I said, when I was talking to Fredrick on Ralph's show, if you make a data center, if I crowdfunded, you know, $250,000, $250,000, and I moved back to the U.S. and I moved to a state like Albuquerque or New Mexico, Albuquerque within New Mexico, which has pretty friendly laws in terms of internet content, and I set up a data center in Albuquerque, and I peered. And I think Albuquerque's a pretty big city, so I can probably peer with Hurricane Electric and Cogent and Layer 3. Those are the backbones. What happens then to me or Jim in that situation where we've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars to build this infrastructure, and then Hurricane Electric or Layer 3 or Cogent says, we're not going to peer with you? Then you've built a data center, you have thousands of dollars of hardware, and you're suddenly completely cut off from the internet. And there's nothing you can do because, as they say, you can't force a private company to do business with you. So then the only option is to lay your own submarine cable from Albuquerque to LA, and then all the way to you know, Hong Kong or Tokyo, and then you're peering with those companies. And then, you know, who knows if you get dropped from that. And that's millions of dollars to lay a submarine cable like that. And it makes me wonder if the only thing that could really help right now, the only thing that could save the internet is, I'm trying to think of a term for this. And you know, there was something called, I'm going to pronounce this wrong and everybody's going to make fun of me, but there was something called like Sankaku law in Japan, which was their isolationist policy. But the Dutch, for whatever reason, were allowed to trade in 2 ports in Japan for the many years that they operated under total isolation. And I think they were called like free cities. Like Danzig was called a free city. Hong Kong and Macau were ostensibly free cities within China right now. So I'm wondering if there could be a situation where something like Hong Kong is just declared by the mainland of China, this is going to be our free city, and we're not going to let any services in Hong Kong talk to the mainland, and we're going to let those people in Hong Kong do whatever the fuck they want. And I imagine there would be big business in that, where you have almost completely unregulated internet in one city, and it would be like, you could say whatever you want as long as it doesn't affect China, but you would have free speech in the West. And I don't know. I would push for that. If I was in the position to make something like Kaliningrad a free city in Russia, or Hong Kong a free city in China, or something to that effect, I would push for it if I could, because I think that would make a fuck ton of money, especially as things are just getting worse and worse. And I wagered a bet a while ago of what would happen once I started 1776 hosting, and if things started dropping us again. Well, now with Vexily dropping 8chan, I'm pretty safe to say that, yeah, I imagine we will see a internet backbone company drop services, drop peering with Jim Watkins and NTT Tech in San Francisco. I think it will happen. And then I don't have any answers. That's it. That's the internet. that is the game. If you can't peer with a fucking tier 1, you can't peer with anything. You're completely fucked. You're cut off. And I don't have any answers for that, unless there, again, a weird enclave of a very big country like Russia or China, who is willing to open a particular area to the rest of the internet while blocking it from their interior, so that they can benefit off the money made from a tech capital without actually having it affect their culture at all. That's the only thing I can think of. Fredrick also made a post on Kiwi Farms when this was happening, and he's taken a very soft stance compared to what he used to say. And I think he's wavered on his point a bit. I think he's, people quoted him in the news saying he thinks 8chan should be shut down. I think his position is much more mild than that. I think his position is just that 8chan inflicted this a lot on itself by making no effort whatsoever to look like a legitimate company. He kept bringing up the embrace infamy and stuff, and his gist was that if 8chan made a superficial effort to look like a website that cared about obeying the law, it would be a lot harder for the media to hound it as much as it does. But because it makes no effort to do that, it's asking for it. You're wearing all that free speech, very scantily clad in that Constitution, baby. You're asking for it. I don't particularly agree with that position, but I don't think it's as bad as people made it out to be. Oh. They sell a type of Coke Zero here that I've never seen in outside of here. It's a lemon limeade, I think. Oh no, that's just a different text. Probably Moldovan. It just says lemon. It's lemon flavored. It's very good. It's very nice and citrusy. Sounds gross. Fuck you. A lot happened, actually. A lot of stuff. On the forum, I have this big text box of all the stuff that's happened in the last week. Have I even talked about the E3 doxing? No, I haven't. I haven't talked about that at all. I do want to play this, because when the E3 docs dropped, I was waiting. I was never more excited in my entire life for a Monday than I was when those fucking journalists got doxed by E3. Hold up. I want to play something. I want to play the thing that I waited a very long time to hear. Oh, he uploaded an extra video this week. Where is it? Here, we're just gonna watch this. We're just gonna watch this together, because I was so excited for this.
Before we begin, I would like to address something that happened this weekend. There was a data breach, although it was so imbecilic on the part of the Entertainment Software Association that to call it a breach is to give entirely too much credit to anyone who found it. But basically, anyone who attended E3 this year got doxed by the ESA. Essentially the representative of the video game industry on this earth. So the video game industry doxed YouTubers, journalists, analysts, anyone who was attending E3 in a professional capacity, which is great, isn't it? I've got no love for the ESA. Many times over the past few years, I've torn into them because I think they are a slimy, shady, astroturfing lobbyist for the so-called AAA game industry. They've never looked out for anyone but major publishers. And I long ago stopped going to E3, and one of the reasons was that I despised the ESA. And it's nice to know that on top of being shady, astroturfy lobbyists for the so-called AAA game industry, they're also a bunch of fucking morons. You absolute fucking idiots. In the fallout of all this, of putting people's sensitive information online where any old weird, harassy, stalky bastard can find it, the ESA didn't really respond to it until hours after the breach was discovered. And they've not interfaced directly with the over 2,000 people affected. A lot of people didn't know about this until they saw headlines. It's pathetic. And all they've done, all the ESA have done, is issue some vague, damn near boilerplatey sounding faux apology where they just say they regret this occurrence. Fuck off. There needs to be real recriminations for this. In Europe, this may very well violate the GDPR. And in the US, I've already seen people talk about a class action suit. And I'm all on board for that. If you were anyone who became a victim of this mass industrial doxing, or indeed if you weren't and you'd like to dodge a bullet, don't go to E3. They are incompetent boobs. Absolutely disgusting. I mean, absolutely fucking atrocious. The ESA should be ashamed of itself. E3 should be embarrassed.
I think this is it.
This is one of the most pitiful, despicable things I've seen from a pitiful, despicable organisation. And it happened far too late for me to do a full-on video for it, but I could not let it escape some hefty criticism, because it's absolutely astonishing and disgusting. One of them, two of them for the ESA in general, but 4 now. Here's another 2 just for that, for the data. Fucking hell, especially when there are weird stalkers and harassers out there. Sort your shit out, ESA. I
was waiting all weekend for a name drop, but that's as close as it gets.
Weird. Fucking hell.
No, it's 46.
Especially when there are weird stalkers and harassers out there. Sort your shit.
Like aloe vera on the burn wound. Not yet. Not yet. I'm waiting for it. One day. One day I'll get my fucking name drop on the Jimquisition. It's my goal with the YouTube stuff. What's funny about that is I actually when I got my email from the ESA, and I'll read that in a second, I forwarded it to Jim Sterling directly, and I said I laughed at it. I said they're trying to copyright an Excel sheet. He didn't reply. One day, I got the address right and everything, and he's still not replying to my emails. Why does Jim ignore me? Jim, I've been trying to reach out to you for years, Jim. Just say my name, Jim. Jim Sterling. Okay, my email. Yeah, get Jim on the show. I need Jim. Where is he? I need him to talk about games journalism. Where's my email? I've gotten so many emails in the last day. Oh my god. Oh my god, it can't have been so long already. It happened over holy shit, I've been getting like 100 emails a day or something. Especially during the DDoS shit, because I was emailing a lot of people like, hey, can you sort this shit out? Do you mind sorting this shit out, please? Copyright. Let's try searching for that. Nope. ESA. Aha! That's why I couldn't find it. The correspondence was just notice at the ESA. When I first read this, I thought the name of the URL is the, like THE, and then ESA.com. And when I first saw this, I thought the name of the URL was like a intellectual rights protection agency called THESA. But then I realized that it was the ESA, which is just the worst fucking domain name I've ever seen. So this is from notice at thesa.com, subject removal of protected content to legal at kiwifarms.net. And, Dear Sir or Madam, we are writing on behalf of the Entertainment Software Association, a U.S. trade organization that represents the interests of leading publishers of interactive games for video game consoles, personal computers, handheld devices, and the Internet. ESA member companies include, but are not limited to, 505 Games, Activision Publishing, Inc., Bethesda Softworks, LLC, Blizzard Entertainment, Capcom USA, Inc., Electronic Arts, Epic Games, Inc., Konami Digital Entertainment, oh, like that fucking matters, Microsoft Corporation, Bandai Namco Games America, Nintendo of America, Sega of America, Sony Interactive Entertainment, Square Enix, Take-Two Interactive Software, and Ubisoft Entertainment. We are authorized to act on behalf... What the fuck was the point? Like, I know what the ESA is, you cocksucker motherfuckers. Are you just trying to scare me? I don't know. All these big companies are named. I gotta pay more attention to this email because they named Nintendo. Don't want to fuck with Nintendo's IP. We are authorized to act on behalf of the ESA members identified above to protect their intellectual property rights in the works when such works are subject to infringement. So they're saying that this is like belongs to Nintendo? I guess that's what they're saying. Certain material available on or through the website kiwifarms.net infringes copyrights owned by ESA and violates ESA's terms of service, oh my god, and constitutes the unauthorized distribution and display of the content. This notice is provided pursuant to the Digital Millennium Copyright Act. ESA requests that certain content on the website kiwifarms.net be removed and or disabled. This website provides access to unauthorized copies of ESA's copyright-protected work in violation of ESA's exclusive rights. Then it links the thread, the articles and happenings board thread I posted. I have good faith belief that use of the copyrighted materials described above is not authorized by the copyright owner, its agent, or the law. I hereby state that the information herein is accurate and under penalty of perjury. We are authorized to act on behalf of the ESA's member companies. And this is from IP and Security Entertainment Software Association out of Massachusetts. And my reply was, hello, names and addresses are public domain. If you're claiming the Excel file is copyrighted, that is questionable and would fall under fair use anyways, as the thread is a scathing mockery of your organization's total incompetence. Regardless, data and facts cannot be copyrighted, and the actual information is simply not yours to assert ownership of. I would be very interested to see if the Copyright Office would grant you the registration number you need to even sue for this. I believe in good faith you do not own the article in contest. Send servicing to the following. And this is the first time in the history of the Kiwi Farms and all the takedown notices that I've received that my response has been, you don't own this. It's very unusual. Usually there's at least a basis for ownership of a picture or a drawing or something or a video. This is the first time I've gotten a notice for something that cannot be copyrighted, and there is case law to prove this. In the 1990s, there was a lawsuit between two phone book companies, and one of the phone books was copying information from the other phone book, and they sued, and their determination was that the names and addresses and phone numbers were all public domain, so the phone book doesn't own exclusive rights to that information, even if it was directly sourced from that information or that phone book. So really, the whole thing is completely and totally defunct. It's a very lame attempt to clean something up, far past the point of cleaning up the mess being practical or possible. So, I was very excited. I literally shouted yes when I saw that I had this email from the ESA. I was like, I was a very happy boy. I was waiting all weekend. For my Gemquisition and for my ESA copyright email. I was actually expecting a cease and desist, not a copyright. I was a little bit surprised that they would use copyright as opposed to just saying, take this down or we'll sue you for reputational harm or something. Yes, Queen. Give me that takedown notice. I'll gobble it up. Complained about internet. Complained about E3. Oh, here, I'll touch on this briefly. I'm not going to read all of it because it would be way too long to read all this. But I will show it to you. So while we were down, I got contacted by a journalist from the Daily Dot. I believe they've written about us before. But stalking forum Kiwi Farms went down after DDoS attack, owner claims. Its creator said he was contacted by a, quote, Russian extortionist. And very nice, very nice. Usually the journalists don't put that much effort into making a nice looking header image, but this one is quite a little bit of work in Photoshop. Good job. And I'll talk about the author in a second. But Kiwi Farms, dubbed the internet's biggest community of stalkers by New York Magazine, has gone dark just one day after website security provider pulled popular right-wing image board 8chan amid the El Paso shooting. Second paragraph is my notice. Has a link for Joshua Connor Moon, has a link to the Rational Wiki, which is very reputable. Let's see what it says about me. It says, loosely associated with the alt-right, supports Trump, thinks feminism ruins Western culture, and says the word cuck a lot. Oh my God. The company he keeps are overtly racist and support or spouting about white genocide. More controversially, this is the controversial part, I've said that Muslims and refugees need to be killed. I'm not an anti-Semite. We love Israel here. And I'm pro-Julian Assange, which is true, saying I would rather be set on fire by ISIS than deal with the UK government. That's also true. Oh, this is the part where it says that my mom has been in trouble with the police. By trouble in police, it means she got arrested in a domestic because she got into a fight with her boyfriend or something. So that's me. This anti-Semitic hate speech, killing Muslims, Julian Assange supporting website really runs in the family because my mom gets drunk and has a Ralph with her boyfriend. So good job with that. Sustained attack. So we're not a long-term solution. Doesn't focus on who or why. Very specifically quoted my statement about I don't care about mad hoes or their mad ho logic. Ask people to donate money via cryptocurrency because it's far cheaper to launch a DDoS than mitigate it. And I was contacted by, this is true, I was contacted by a Russian company asking for 3 Bitcoins a month, which is approximately $35,000 a month, every month. Like, fuck off of that. Let's see. Talks about Kiwi Farms, talks about this is important because the author whinges that the forum is very mean to transgender people, specifically Chloe Segal, committed suicide after facing sustained bullying. So this is what she writes. In 2018, after facing sustained bullying by Kiwi Farms over 5 years, Kiwi Farms users misgendered her, dead-named her, and mocked her death. Chloe Segal, in their suicide note, said that, and in their final statements, as testified by witnesses at the park that she set herself on fire in, says that her last statements were about mental health issues and homelessness. And all the other members of the transgender community basically canceled Chloe Segal. And I'm on YouTube. I have to be nice. Tex. I'm being nice. So they basically said, don't let Chloe live with you. Don't give Chloe work. Chloe is a bad person. Chloe is this and that. And it worked. Chloe Segal was eventually homeless. Nobody would help him out because they had effectively been canceled by the transgender community. And facing an extended stay on the streets, decided to have a protest suicide. And after literally setting herself on fire in a public park after talking about mental health issues and homelessness, said all those same people who essentially completely ruined their life turn around and say she killed herself because of the Kiwi Farms. And people like the author of this article have run with that continuously for years because it benefits them. And I really have a special fucking hatred for people who do this, because it's just like you're taking some, like, people don't set themselves on fucking fire to protest a website. They set themselves on fire to protest China having Tibet. They set themselves on fire to protest, real fucked up shit that really affects people's lives. And you're going to make it about a fucking, internet forum. Like, what a cunt. What an absolute fucking cunt you are. Let's see. Posted the shooting and the manifesto, linked the database from the E3. I said the current downtime sucks because it hurts the community, given that it's a busy time right now on the internet. Internet is lowercase I, despite the fact that internet is a proper noun. We have in-home data protection, which is true. And then literally as soon as they posted this, I got the site working, which made them look really foolish, but whatever. Okay, let me show you my post about this, because there's something about this that really grinds my gears. And I usually don't share DMs. I want people to feel comfortable talking to me. But really, there are several things about this article that were just like, maybe that's not the take you should be having. Let me turn this off real quick so that I can just show my post safely. Okay. So, once I saw the article, I said two things. These are out of order. I said the second image first, but this is in my post, this is the most interesting thing. As I said, I didn't notice this until we were back up, but M's Pex brought up that you have a thread. Feels like something that would require disclosing in the article. And this is in the thread for the author of that article. And they respond by saying, good question. We've decided not to add it given my thread size and relative unimportance to the story. It would be necessary for, say, a piece exploring Kiwi Farm's history with transphobia, which it does in that article, but not necessarily in a straight report on the site's status and whether it's up or down. So before that, I asked this. And I said basically what I said just now about Cloak Segal, and they replied saying, appreciate the feedback. I think KF's role is important to note since it legitimately does take a toll to have a thread. That line right there, it does take a toll to have a thread. So when you have a diatribe about how, where's the article at? Oh. About how Segal set herself on fire. And then they immediately say that it does legitimately take a toll to have a thread. It almost seems like the opinion present in the article is influenced by real-life, first-hand experiences with the subject, which would require, in a ethical, journalistic style, a disclosure. And as I write here, all you have to write is say the author of this article has been the topic of discussion on the Kiwi Farms, and that's it. That's all you have to say for disclosure, so that people are informed when they read your article to understand why your opinions may be as they are. It's pretty fucking disingenuous to not do that, right? Would you say that's fair? Would you say that's a fair evaluation? Bias is apparent. Yeah. Is the dude talking? No, maybe. Ethics and dilating. I don't know. I just found that funny because it's just like, why would you fight to not include that disclosure? Because it's so like nobody reading the fucking Daily Dot is going to see that footer and then think, oh, this article isn't worth reading. I regret reading it. They shouldn't have published this because the author has a bias. Like, nobody reading the Daily Dot is going to give a shit. It's just something you do. And presumably this person went to fucking college to be a journalist, right? You pay money to go to college. I remember when I did English 101 in college, and we talked about bias, implicit bias, and how everyone has a bias, and how even if you try your very best to be objective and rational and unemotional, you will always carry that taint of first impressions, right? So it's just something that people do. It's why we have jury selections. It's why we have judges recuse themselves if they have interest in a case. Even if it's like distant, unimportant cases, you never want to give people a reason to doubt your motivations for something. And if it's something as irrelevant as this, like just do it. Like why would you make yourself look bad on purpose? But that is what it is. Give me some of this lemon Coke. Let me see if I got any funny messages. Nuke England, hell yeah. Money, hell yeah. And True and Honest is $20. Who spammed your name on spousal cheating websites? That was Danny Long. That's from a while ago. That's when the site went down in 2017. It was in part because of Fredrick, but it was also in part because of these, what I call the porn cows. They're like fucking insane people. And they are like, they will work around the clock as like a spastic Tasmanian devil kind of like maelstrom of just doing random weird freaky shit just constantly. And like it's crazy how long they'll keep it up. For years and years and years, they've been going at each other for fucking years, and it's unbelievable. But that's not relevant. Let's read this. So if you don't know, the Dick Show at one point had a unofficial, I think it was unofficial, 8chan board. And some people on that posted, let's see, who are a list of worthless cum dumpster gutter sluts who you think need to get raped? And when Maddox canceled or kicked Dick off his show, he said that Dick maintained a rape list on his 8chan board. So now, on the heels of this shooting, and on the heels of 8chan getting all this negative media attention, what is the base Maddox do? Who is definitely not angry about Dick whatsoever, a really mature adult who doesn't have any grudges. Say, hey, Katie Weddle, I saw you reporting on the Dayton shooter and saw he maintained a rape list. Someone put a girl I was dating on a rape list on 8chan, and Patreon has allowed that creator on their platform where he continues to incite hate and threats. Any thoughts? What a loaded question. So there are 76 replies to this, and he stood in these fucking replies arguing with people this entire time. Maddox imagining, how can I make this about myself? And he says, yeah, you're right. If only there was a sign that a mass shooter who posted on 8chan had a rape list, like a group of sociopaths who make rape lists and post them on 8chan. Totally normal thing to do. Your creepy community of felons and pedophiles, I guess referring to the Dick Show or 8chan. This guy from your community literally posted this on my wall 5 minutes ago. Quote, guaranteed you're a fat slob with plenty of cats. The only woman who constantly drones on about rape are those who secretly fantasize about it while being simultaneously too hideous to ever be touched by a man. Jesus Christ. Eric Zaram. He says, yes, the guy you're defending has had multiple pedophiles on his show. Oh, multiple pedophiles? I can't think of any. What pedophiles has Dick had on his show? He had, oh, help me out. This is going to bug me. I can pull this up, actually. Because he has a list of co-hosts. I don't know who Egg White. How the fuck did Egg White get to the top? I don't know who that is. No, I bet they're at the bottom. I know that Chris the Kiwi, no relation, is apparently a pedophile. Digibro might have been. Yeah, I think he's unironically. I've just read that for the first time. I unironically think he's referring to me in part because I know he hates the Kiwi Farms. Is David Clegg a pedophile? That's funny that he knows enough about the show and its guests to make that kind of assertion. Oh, Cody Wilson a pedophile. Cody Wilson fucked a 17-year-old and he thought she was overage. What a cocksucker. Wow. Oh, ooh, that makes me mad. Cody Wilson did nothing wrong. That motherfucker did nothing wrong, and this cocksucker is going to fucking call him a pedophile. What a fag. This is Maddox. Please don't do this. Please don't do what? Warn others of patterns of behavior of mass shooters and the people who enable them. Nah, I'm good. He thinks this is his silver bullet to take down fucking Dick's he wants this. He wants he goes to this site and he looks at it and he thinks, I just want it gone. I just want it gone. What can I do? I'll do anything. I'll say anything it takes. I just need this number gone. Dick Masterson can almost afford to pay my extortionist to keep my site up. That's a lot of fucking money. I just need that. But this was his attempt, I guess. Let's see. Maddox, you're not helping yourself, buddy. You're coming off petty and lame. Yes, you're right. I apologize. I won't mention anymore in my weekly podcast or Twitter. I'm the one who needs to let it go. Oh, well, if you had a weekly podcast, that statement would seem less asinine. Doesn't matter. The obsessed losers talk about me every single day, despite having been nearly completely silent for 3 years. I guarantee you this tweet will get screenshotted and talked about in at least 3 different threads while unironically discussing how a real woman I am. Kissy face with smiling eyes. Okay, hand sign. That's a white power symbol now, guys. I think there was more than this. These are good, actually. This is a proper chimp out. I'm sure everyone murdered by a sociopath who keeps a rape list would wanted to know about it before they were. Why? You know, if I'm getting murdered, the fact the guy has a rape list is completely irrelevant to me. How many mass shooters with rape lists who post on HN does it take for you to pull your head out your ass? You've lost the narratives with your defending rape threats. Fuck yourself kindly. Your right's like a soy-filled bitch now. Imagine seeing behavior in the shooter years ago and ignoring them until a mass shooting occurs. Yep, cowards keep creating sock puppet accounts. Good call. How could anyone stoop so low as to go after someone's livelihood? Kind of like how you losers did first. Remember, put down the bottle, dipshit. You've lost the narrative when you're defending a rapist. He really hates this fucking 8chan thread that Dick had nothing to do with. You mean pointing out that people ignored? He keeps saying the same shit. He's like a broken record. Yeah, sad when your heroes don't support rape threats. Don't come back here. I'll help you out with a fresh block since you're too stupid to stop following me. You're welcome. Wow. I didn't realize how funny this was, actually, before I started reading it. He's been blocking people. Everyone's making fun of him and shit. Oh, where is it? Ooh, I got it. I got the good stuff. Where is it? Oh, it's right there. Yeah, okay. This is what this reminds me of. Okay. Well, Maddox, seriously, you know, he complains, oh, they're going to talk about me anyways. They're going to make fun of me anyways, so I might as well be as big a fucking spastic as possible. That's like the exact, what the fuck is it? Because Monkey Jones used the exact same logic by saying, oh, you know, if they're going to make me like a lolcow, you know, haters make me famous, cash me outside, how about that? With the 3 snaps. And it's like, what kind of fucking mentality is this where you're okay with being a permanent laughingstock and you're going to make absolutely no effort to stop being such a pummelable figure? Like, why? Why do people want that for themselves? Fucking stop. Something else. Oh, of course. I haven't yet watched the stream with Blair White versus Jonathan Yaniv, but I do know one interesting take-home that happened during that stream is Yaniv pulled out a taser during the stream, and this was promptly reported to the mounted police. Because, a taser is a fucking deadly. Oh my god! We can't have a polite society, with tasers running amok. Every year, 4 or 5 white supremacist terrorists go on a tasing spree and educational facilities and shopping malls, and they leave behind blood and hatred. It's despicable. So thank God the Royal Canadian Mounted Police were there to seize Yaniv's tasers. He was raided by the RCMP, and this is interesting. He was definitely arrested. From what I've been told, he was arrested, and I think Yaniv confirmed it himself. Sorry. Actually, no, I can say him now because he's not protected by the big tech. It's gone. I can say Yaniv, all I fucking want. So eat shit. He said that he was arrested and then he lied and said, his story is that they were falsely told by a troll on the internet that he had child pornography, which is the cause of the raid. And then apparently he made some kind of statement, probably like facetiously, saying that the stash, his real stash, was at his mother's apartment. So, I don't know if, I don't know what's going on over there at the Yaniv residence, but it's getting spicy. It's kind of like the British Columbia, Canada, is sort of like a vagina. It's like a self-cleaning organism type thing. And they're like, oh, here we have this disgusting male DNA in our vagina, and we gotta scrub that shit out of there, and it's purging it. It's purging the Yaniv. It's trying to scrape it out of itself. Fucking with him, arresting him, raiding his apartment, giving him, painting over his street signs for his sponsored roads, and it's really good. And remember, motherfucker, this wouldn't have happened if you didn't DMCA my fucking YouTube channel. This motherfucker sent in complaints to all my fucking hosts, sent in DMCA complaints, and now you're getting fucked with by the feds, by the horsey feds in Canada, and you deserve it, motherfucker. I think there was more to say about this, but I haven't had time to properly follow Yaniv in the last couple days because my life has been slaving away on a router trying to get this shit to work. So if I missed something, I apologize. But that's my take of it. It's just that happened. That's funny. Oh, and this is more something for Nick Rakita. And unfortunately, I don't think we have the information up front on the forum due to the downtime. But Ty Beard, who is the representative of Vic Mignoma, Montana, he has received a bar association complaint, a ethics complaint from Akiva Cohen, who, if you remember from a prior stream, is an actual real-world intellectual property attorney from New York, of course, Cohen. And Cohen threatened to sue me for copyright infringement, saying that he would win a $500,000. Like, when this happened, when this threat came in, Cohen and his supporters, when talking about suing the forum and me in specifically, were so sexually charged with talking about the damages they'd get. It was actually like reading like a like an erotic roleplay story, like, yeah, when he gets that judgment, he's gonna take all your money. He's gonna own that Kiwi Farms, boy. He's gonna own that Kiwi Farms. Then when you try to work again after you lost everything, oh, we're gonna garnish them wages. We're gonna garnish them wages, boy. For the last of your life, you're gonna be paying out to Akiva Cohen. You're gonna learn, boy. You're gonna wear the latex. Sweet. And it's like, y'all, calm the fuck down with that shit, because it's real creepy. It's real creepy when you start talking about stealing money from some retard in the Ukraine with that kind of sexual fervor. It's and I said fervor right. That's how you actually say that word. It's scary. It's weird. And not scary like in an intimidating way. It's scary in like a what the fuck is wrong with you people kind of way. It's like when you read a rape list or something on 8chan, you're like, ooh, these people are fucked up. When they start talking about lawsuits like they're about to fuck a lawsuit, that's when you start thinking, ooh, these people are probably dangerous to society. But that fucking guy, that retard, he never sued me, by the way. Is his Twitter account still protected? I think about this every time, because he was the first real lawyer to say he was going to sue me. His words, he was going to sue me, undoubtedly, and he was going to win, and it would be $500,000 at least. And then as soon as I said no, he just went away, and he's been protected. He's been on lockdown ever since. He's never lifted it. So all that fucking talk for nothing. And now he's filing piddly-ass fucking ethics complaints against Ty, who has returned them, by the way. He's returned an ethics complaint to Cohen for wasting his fucking time. And it's just, it's so weird. You know, these people, I don't know what it is with people like Mobility Mary and Akiva Cohen and Yaniv, but they all seem to have something in common, where they feel really fucking entitled to shit that they're not entitled to. When people tell them, no, you can't have this, they feel actually victimized because they didn't get special treatment. Like, who the fuck do you think you are, you cocksuckers? Just something I've noticed, and I need to stop noticing things. The first day back with my fucking monetization, and here I am fucking noticing shit like an idiot. At least my site's up. Yaniv is in trouble. Cohen's fucking screeching at nothing. All the trannies are mad. Ho's mad. Fake Ho's mad. 8chan's fucked, though. 8chan, I don't think 8chan's going to come out for a long time. And E3 can go fuck itself. And I consider that a pretty productive week. I don't know about you guys, but pretty productive week. I'm happy. So, I feel good. I was sleepy before the stream, but I feel good now. Is there anything else, my friends, before I retire for the day? A nice short stream for a nice day. Next week is going to be better. That's a very optimistic Cheery. I'm not doing call-ins. Super chats? Did I miss any super chats? Are you just pranking me? Never do that voice again. Just a friendly reminder that we love Israel. You love Israel so much you gave me $2. Check DMs but don't show on stream or reading. Well, fuck you. I'm not gonna fall for that. Oh, you were actually being serious. You didn't want me to read that. Okay. How much money did I get? I don't know. I don't count. I don't bother. I just assume it's gonna get burned by fucking YouTube. Okay, I don't think I have the energy. I don't have the energy for that. Can we browse poll on stream? I don't think so. Watch DSP. I've already watched DSP cooking on stream. Talk about Hot Wheels. I think I mentioned. Did you send me a DM? I know who you are. I did talk about Hot Wheels. I talked to Hot Wheels with Ralph. I don't think he's turned his back completely on 8chan. I don't think he. The thing you got to know about Fredrick is he is very protective of himself, and he has a very good reason to be. He only got to where he's at because he's learned to look out for numero uno. That is the way it is. And he operates under that premise where if he doesn't look after himself, nobody else will. And he has to do that. And I don't blame him for it. He's wealthy because of Bitcoin now. He has a wife or a long-term girlfriend or something. His intention is to go to Cyprus and select sperm that do not carry his condition and have children and pass along his wealth and, raise kids in the next, 10 or so years, 10, 15 years he has left. And it's like, it is what it is, and you can't really fault the guy for it. So, I'm not too sad. Look, I read a super chat or two, and immediately 100 people stopped fucking watching. This is why you don't read super chats. You don't even read the one. You read the one, and somebody has a fucking stroke, and their browser closes. And it's like a natural reaction. Cyprus, because they have a genetics lab there for testing sperm for DNA issues. I have not looked into ZeroNet, but I will consider it because apparently they're supposed to be on ZeroNet. I don't know what the fuck it is. I know that trustworthy people who have good intentions are working on something called Loki, which is a kind of Tor service that is better than Tor, because the Tor is completely fucked right now. From what I understand, different governments have already broken Tor in multiple ways, in more serious ways than I previously remembered. So Tor is compromised, but things are the way that the ClearNet's going is that there has to be a new alternative. There has to be, because things are so bad now that the only way we can get things on the internet that people want to see is to hide to even our providers where those services are located. ZeroNet is full of child pornography. Well, that's what happens when you have a service like that. It's kind of like with email. This is what people don't understand about federated services, is that it's really, when you have something that's federated, it's really hard to moderate it. So what we're going to see, if a service does get big, like the Fediverse for like our kiwifarms.cc domain, which I recommend everybody go check out and register to, if that kind of service did get big, we would see things like Spamhaus for email. Spamhaus, people don't usually think about this, but when you send messages from point A to point B, that is a federated service. That is a real-life implementation of something like a federated image board or a federated Twitter that people talk about. Email is that, and email is also one of the worst services to run ever. SMTP and IMAP and POP3 are the worst fucking protocols that still exist on the internet. They're awful. And a huge thing that keeps email working is something called like Spamhaus and Zenhouse and all these different third-party spam systems that weed out emails that are abusive. And if something like the Fediverse got big, there would be spam houses that have like blacklists for certain nodes. With a ZeroNet and image board stuff, you would start seeing spam houses for like child porn that could use AI. And you would have to pay out the fucking nose for your AI sniffing for child porn. It would be a lot of shit like that. And it would happen if it became profitable enough that you could afford something like that. But in general, no, it's not going to come anytime soon. So really, your options are really, it comes down to this. Either stay on the ClearNet and deal with with the bullshit, with the dick, or go underground and deal with shit you don't want to see. It's kind of, unfortunately, it's black and white like that. Either live in a sterile world or live in a really dirty one. And it'll even out over time, but we're in a era of extremes of polarity and not harmony. What else I got? No one else, Fredrick says this, no one else has delivered a letter even after it having been ignored. No secretary is helping me manage media attention. Oh, this. Yeah, no shit. This is a tweet that got sent to me that somebody wants me to look at. ABC is the worst. Despite how open I've been with the media, they delivered a letter to me at 10 p.m. demanding another interview. I already spoke to Nightline, but that wasn't good enough, apparently. They then started repeatedly calling us. I hope 8chan is never in the news again. It's like, yeah, the media are all fucking vultures. They're all evil, demons. I don't know what you're expecting. The media never treats you right. Anna was super polite to me. And then he basically calls me a murderer, like a tranny butcher or something, setting people on fire. It is what it is. It's a business, so to speak. And the business is entertaining people and telling them what they want to hear. Okay, I think that's it. Last call. Anything else worth bringing up? Get in this live wire. No, it's literally Satan. All right, that's it. I'll see you all next week. Thanks for joining me for this very, very early, whatever this show is called, and I'll see you next time.